What's going on, Port fans? Welcome back to another video on my channel, and today we're going to be doing the Q&A for the 2K celebration that we had just last week. So again, thank you everyone for subscribing and tuning in for the content. The support's suchly appreciated, and I'm amazes me every day that people continually subscribe to this little Port Adelaide channel that continues to grow. So thank you very much for the journey, and thank you very much to sending in your questions. Quite a few different questions that have come through, so I look forward to getting in there and answering them. So without further ado, let's get straight into it and answer your questions for the 2K Q&A. We're starting off with Facebook, and some of you sent in very interesting questions. First of all, we're going to start off with Nicholas Teal, who is obviously a favourite of the channel. He says, what would have been your favourite open training interview from this year? Probably in general, asking the boys. I think it was Anzac round attending that day, and I think just in general, just the whole training, going open training and asking the boys questions. Their time is immense, and I'm greatly appreciative of them for giving 30 seconds to a minute to answer a couple of questions about the game and a couple of silly ones as well. So I love doing it. Daniel Caldecott comes in. I hope I said that right. If you could choose, who would you pick to kick a goal after the sign from 50 on a slight angle? Do you know what? Charlie Dixon wouldn't be half bad from outside 50. Dan Houston would probably be another, I'd say. Yeah, one of those two, I reckon. Dan Houston or Charlie Dixon. Liam Joseph, a mate of mine, comes in with, will West Coast make history and be the first AFL team to achieve the hollowed 4P? No, short answer. But you know what, they've got the capabilities too, so you never know. But I don't think I will. Sorry. Jesse McClure comes through with, obviously Jesse is the owner of True Footy, so get around True Footy, make sure you subscribe. Do you see yourself as a potential YouTube career? Do you see YouTube as a potential YouTube career? Look, YouTube was something that was just came out of the blue for me. I didn't really expect to be doing a YouTube channel. I think it's more of a stepping stone to hopefully one day being in the media, part of the AFL, or being a part of the Port Adelaide media group, or something to do with AFL or sports in general with media. Yeah, it's fun, and interacting with people you don't usually meet. Yeah, it's fun, but I don't know if it would be a long-term career, especially just doing Port Adelaide stuff. That would be quite hard to break into, but you never know. Now we're heading into Twitter, and we've got a couple of interesting questions here. First one from Carmine. If you had to invite 5 past players of the Port Adelaide Footy Club to your Bucks party, who would you invite? Timmy G would be hosting the thing. I'd have Travis Boak as my best man, because as you know, Boakie's #1. I reckon Treaders would get a run. Stewie Jew was a personal favourite of mine. I reckon he'd have a couple of bevies. And I reckon Hamish Hartlett would just be the entertainment package in general. So that'd be my 5. Is Geordie the GOAT? Please put this in this time. No. Riley comes in with, what is your favourite part about being on the sports show? So as some of you may or may not know, I am on the Hills Radio 88.9 FM sports show. That's every Wednesday night. Favourite part about it is just being able to meet different people, come up and talk sports in general. And you after a while you get comfortable, and you start becoming more creative, and that's probably the best part, is something different happens every week and we get to talk about it, and so many opportunities coming from it. Natalie asks, best video interview memory as in general. Look, asking the boys their favourite Travis Boak, one word to describe Travis Boak. That was for me such an important video to do, because most of you know Boak's my favourite player, and I wanted to really show how much Port fans and players, his teammates, appreciate the stuff that he does, and to get one word out of them. It was really funny. There was a couple of moments, Hoff and Ryder, they couldn't quite think of a word because they were stung, and Husto didn't even remember what he was asked. But yeah, that probably video as a whole, just not the interview, but the whole thing was just amazing to do. And probably reiterates what Ethan's just asked with favourite video you've made. Probably the boat one's probably one of the best. Off the top of my head, I I love doing the montages of the the celebrations and really building up hype for seasons. The season launch videos are probably my favourite to do. Yeah, every single one has a different avenue that I like about them. Reviews, previews, you ride the emotions of games. The season launch videos, they're fantastic. I love it. They get me hyped, so hopefully they do you. Julian asks, which current port player would you want to kick for your life? So that's on the back of who would you have from outside 50? Ooh, who would I kick? Who would want? At this current point, Connor Rosie. The kid doesn't hardly miss, so I'd go Connor. Now we head into some of the YouTube questions that I put up. So I've put it on all social media to ask the questions. And this is, Tom has come in with, are you a member of ThePear? Who is your favourite power player? Yes, I am a member, and my favourite player is Travis Boak. Jordan McCleary, my man, he comes in with seeing Port win the prelim and lose the grand final and going to those games, or seeing Port win the prelim and win the grand final but not at the game. Ooh, it is a hard question, but I would go with not seeing them live, not being at the game, but seeing them win the prelim and the grand final. There or not, they're winning the granny. And as much as I'd love to be there, seeing your team with a flag on TV is just as special. It would be more special being there, but flag's a flag. Shane Watson has come in with players that won't be at the club next year. I can see us doing the same thing this trade period and moving someone with value. I don't think SPP will go. They might have, this too much inside midfielders, but I don't see him going. The only two I'd suggest that probably may go would be Ryder and S. Gray. But I have it on some authority that Sam Gray will stay. I don't know. But those probably would be the two targets I reckon that might leave at season's end. The Monster, big fan of the channel, appreciate it, mate. He's got a few questions here. Who do you think will win the premiership this year? Currently tipping Richmond. Are you into gaming? If you are, what consoles do you play and what games do you like to play? PS4 man. Have chopped and changed between Xbox and PS4 for a few years now. Games, look, I float around. I don't really have a particular game. Evolution gets a bit of a run. Rocket League gets a massive run, but that's because I'm bored. Formula 1, F1 2019, that gets a bit of a go. I'm not really into the massive game. I'm more of a casual type that sits there and will sit there for 4 hours talking with friends more than I do play a game, but it's good fun. What sample team besides the Magpies do you like? I don't really follow sample too much. That's nothing against it. I'd probably... Magpies or nothing. What AFL team do you enjoy watching when they play against Port? Love watching... I love watching Richmond. I have these mixed feelings about the Tigers. Sometimes I'm like, oh great, here we go. Or sometimes I'm like, it's just a joy to watch. They're just a champion team. Brisbane is another. I think they're always good games between Brisbane and Port, so I like enjoying watching them. JH Drumming, what is the most memorable AFL game for you? Preferably the pair, but if there's another, that's fine. The 2010 Grand Final draw is probably one of the most memorable ones for mine. And the 2014 prelim, Port Adelaide versus Hawthorn. To me, that is the greatest game I've watched. Now, we didn't win the game, but that effort in itself was the most enjoyable part about being a Port fan. Was we didn't lose, but we never gave up. We kept going 110%, and even when we were deep in the trenches and couldn't find a way out, we somehow did, and we almost won the game. And that, to me, was defining of that season. We deserved so much more, but at the same time, we were so good, and it was great. El Diablo's got a couple of questions. Now, first one is, we've seen Ryder and Lysette and Ryder and Laddams. What about Lysette and Laddams? Who do you think deserves to reclaim their spot in the 22 this week? Burton, Butters or Lysette? So it's current question. I think Burton and Butters are looking likely to come in. Lysette will spend another week in the SANFL. And yeah, that's simple as that. Have you ever... Have you ever considered doing modelling? You have great bone structure and a great set of chompers. Thank you. Alright, now we're finally onto Instagram, and Stephen0952 is coming with, who is your second favourite team? Ooh, I like the Brisbane Lions at the moment. The chops and changes. Lorenzo comes in with, if Port make the finals, do you think we will get past the semi? If we play at our best, we will. Stephen0952 comes in again with, what made you want to do YouTube? Look, it was a spur in the moment idea. I literally sat on my bed with my laptop, made an intro, the first ever intro to the channel, and I was like, you know what? Let's go for broke. Let's just do something here that no one else really does. You know, there's a market for Port fans. There's not a lot of content. There's obviously Port Fan Radio and Port's Podcast, which I'm on, but they don't, you know, they're Facebook driven. There's nothing really on YouTube for Port fans besides the Port YouTube channel, and you know, people always like different opinions, and I was like, well, let's give mine and see how we go. Backyard Charizard, my man, he comes in with, if you had the whole world's attention for 30 seconds, what would you say? Ooh, the 7 billion or so people watching me. I don't know. That's a great question. If I had the whole world's attention for... Oh, subscribe to ThePear. A lot of people have come in with questions of, will we make finals, or how would you go with finals, and how Port will go, and yada yada. Look, the simple answer is, if we make finals, I reckon we'll do damage. If we don't make finals, then that's unfortunately what we miss out on. I do think we'll make finals at this current point. Favourite Indigenous player of all time from Joel Stocks? Sean Burgoyne. Love him. I know he left Port, but I love him. I think he's one of the best to play the game, and I love watching him play. Silk. It's Cardman22. What are the most Port Adelaide games you've been to in the season? 2017, I went to every single home game, plus a game, I think it was 14 in total. So I went to 12 home games, one at the MCG against Collingwood, and also the final. Everything Power is coming with a few questions, so let's go through them. Do you think our current Guernsey is outdated? Definitely not. This current Guernsey is the best Guernsey we've had in the AFL. Again, your opinion on the prison bars being worn in 2 home games next year. I think that's the best possible result we've got. You won't get any more because of Collingwood in the AFL. Certain fans will have to bite their tongue a bit and understand that. Look, I'd love to see the bars, but I think if you want to keep that special richness to it, you've got to be aware that this is the modern game now. We've got teal and silver as colours. We're not the Port Magpies. We're Port Adelaide Football Club. Power and the Magpies. So we've got to understand that. And I know certain people can't look at it that way because they have certain feelings to it, but that's fine. I'm just happy that we've got a team in the AFL, happy with our colours, and we're called ThePear. Come on. He's also said Port Adelaide logo redesign competition. Now, I know the club is doing a commemorative logo for 150 years. We don't know exactly when that's going to be announced. So I might sneak in and do a competition. We might do that after the season's complete, or during the bye week or the finals, depending on how we go. One more from Everything Power. He's got a lot here. I might answer him privately. But top 5 favourite Port matches that have happened in your lifetime. Well, we've got... I can't do an order because it's just so much. But round 8, 2009, Shredders kicked 7 against the Tigers, and we won in the spur of the moment. Love our, as I said before, the 2014 prelim. The whole final series in general was great. And 2013 Collingwood at the MCG was awesome. And I think watching Port beat Crows in the last minute in 2018, Motlop's goal. There's so many though. If I sat down and thought about it, I could give you more. Well, Port fans, thank you very much for all your questions. I really appreciate all the support. And again, thank you very much for 2K. It's been enormous, and we look forward to hopefully seeing more games this season. If not, that's the way it goes, but we'll definitely be up and about, ready for our 150th year next year. So make sure you jump on the channel, subscribe for plenty more Port Adelaide content. I've got plenty of ideas coming your way, so hopefully you'll enjoy them and stick around for a bit longer. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Anthony, and as always, come Pear.